Good morning. How's everyone doing? All right. Please rise for the playing of the national anthem. All right. Please take your seats. Welcome, distinguished guests, visitors, members of the media that are joining us today. My name is Major Corey Bell, Deputy Commander for South Florida, the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Jacksonville District. I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's celebration. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is honored to have you here with us today for the ribbon cutting to mark the completion of the 10A contract for the Everglades Agricultural Area Reserve. I'd like to thank the special guests that are be joining us today. Special Assistant to the Secretary of Civil Works, Mr. Connor Tomlinson. United States Army Corps of Engineers Headquarters, Director of Engineering and Construction, Mr. Thomas Smith. United States Army Corps of Engineers South Atlantic Division Programs Director, Dr. McAllister. Do we have any members of the tribe with us today? Our partners from the state, Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Deputy Secretary Adam Blaylock, from South Florida Water Management District, Chairman Chancey Goss, Executive Director Drew Bartlett, and governing members Charlotte Romaine, Robert Spotswood, and I think that's it today. Is Mr. Butler here? It is my honor to introduce the U.S. Army's Corps of Engineers Jacksonville District Commander, Colonel Brandon Bowman, to provide opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to welcome each of you here today as we celebrate a major milestone in the Central Everglades Planning Project, the completion of Contract 10A within the Everglades Agricultural Area Reservoir. And today's celebration is even more meaningful because this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, SERP. For a quarter of a century, SERP has guided our efforts to restore, protect, and preserve one of the world's most unique ecosystems. What began as a bold vision in 2000 has grown into the largest ecosystem restoration effort in American history, if not the world. And if there's one thing we learned over these 25 years, it's this: SERP is a team sport. No single agency, contractor, or stakeholder can do it alone. It takes all of us, federal, state, tribal, local partners, nonprofits, and community leaders working together side by side to make restoration real. Contract 10A may not be the flashiest part of the massive undertaking, but make no mistake, it is absolutely essential. It is the quiet work, the initial effort, that makes the entire reservoir function. This project includes 8.3 miles of inflow and outflow canals, a seepage canal, and a maintenance road that hugs the reservoir. These canals are engineered to withstand dramatic swings in water flow without eroding, a feat of design and durability. Without them, the reservoir cells couldn't be filled or drained. Beyond their structural importance, these canals serve a vital protective role. They help shield neighboring landowners from elevated water tables when the reservoir is full, a testament to the thoughtful planning behind every phase of this project. We've also widened the A1 flow equalization basin's levee road, preparing the site to handle the increased heavy construction traffic that will come with the next phase of the project. On your way in today, you saw the progress on contracts 11A and 11B, more pieces of the puzzle coming together to support reservoir's foundation and embankment walls. The EAA reservoir is often called the crown jewel of CERT, and rightfully so. The entire project spans 17,000 acres and represents billions in investment. But more importantly, it represents hope. Hope for restoring the Everglades, hope for sending water south when Lake Okeechobee rises too high, hope for improving water quality, timing, and distribution across South Florida. This isn't just about infrastructure, it's about resiliency. It's about turning what once seemed impossible into reality. And that reality is being built every day by dedicated teams at the United States Army Corps of Engineers and our incredible partners at the South Florida Water Management District. And speaking of our partners, their work on the stormwater treatment area is nothing short of remarkable. This 6,500-acre STA will clean water before it enters into Everglades National Park and Florida Bay. And just recently, the South Florida Water Management District took over the Blue Shanty Flowway project, a key corridor for moving clean water south, helping reconnect the historical flow path, and restore the natural rhythm of the Everglades. Let's give them a well round of applause for taking all those efforts on. Thank you. Today, as we mark completion of the 10A contract and reflect on 25 years of CERT, we recognize that every piece we finish adds strength, flexibility, and resiliency to South Florida. Each milestone brings us closer to restored Everglades and a more sustainable future. I want to thank you for being here to celebrate this important milestone and achievement with us. Let's keep building together. I now have the honor of introducing the next speaker, Mr. Connor Tomlinson, who is the Special Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, Mr. Adam Tell. The Office of the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works serves as a principal advisor to the Secretary of the Army for all matters related to the Army Civil Works program, which includes programs for conservation and development of the nation's water and wetland resources, flood control, navigation, and shore protection. So please help me with a warm welcome to Mr. Tomlinson.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a great day because today we are here to celebrate a significant step towards completion of the EAA reservoir, the centerpiece of Everglades restoration. As a Floridian myself, it is a great honor and a privilege to be here on behalf of the Trump administration as we celebrate such a major milestone in restoring America's Everglades. I can't emphasize enough just how fortunate we are to have a president who cares so deeply about the Army Corps mission. Under President Trump's leadership, we are refocusing on the core missions of the Army Corps of Engineers, including large-scale aquatic ecosystem restoration, with Everglades restoration as a central focus. Of the dozens of infrastructure components being constructed under the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, the EAA reservoir will by far have the most significant benefits. Once operational, this reservoir will improve the quantity, quality, and timing of water deliveries to the Everglades, while severely reducing harmful discharges to the Caloosahatchee and St. Lucie estuaries, as well as to Lake Worth Lagoon. Through improved water management flexibility, the EAA reservoir will enable us to clean water and move it when and where it's needed, to preserve our natural resources, protect our drinking water, and fuel economic certainty. This project will help us get the water right. We often hear that the Everglades is the lifeblood of Florida's economy, and that's true. The Everglades is a unique ecosystem that is vital to Florida's economy, its environment, its fisheries, and the well-being of millions of Americans who call Southern Florida home. And it's also more than that. During the winter months, more than 100 million Americans along the eastern seaboard rely on fresh produce grown here in Southern Florida.
This is made possible only by the abundant waters of the greater Everglades ecosystem. America's Everglades truly is a national treasure. I want to emphasize national. Everglades restoration really is a win-win-win for the American people. Restoring this natural wonder is a responsibility the Trump administration takes very seriously. And that is why we have doubled down on our partnership with the state of Florida and the South Florida Water Management District to accelerate Everglades restoration. In May, the President released his fiscal year 2026 budget, which includes an historic commitment to accelerate Everglades restoration. In July, the Army signed an MOU and MOA with the state of Florida to empower the state to design and construct major components of the comprehensive Everglades restoration plan, with an emphasis on the Central Everglades Planning Project and the goal of completing the EAA reservoir by 2029. This agreement is a testament to the state of Florida and the South Florida Water Management District as a highly capable non-federal sponsor, as well as to the Jacksonville District of the Army Corps of Engineers as the tip of the spear on Everglades restoration. Your hard work does not go unrecognized. I also want to recognize the Florida Congressional Delegation for their dedication to this project and Everglades restoration writ large. I'd also like to extend gratitude to the Seminole Tribe of Florida and the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida for their continued partnership. I want to end by saying something I know everybody here knows already, but I think it's worth repeating. That days like today don't just happen all the time, and they certainly don't happen in a vacuum. The amount of time, resources, coordination, and personal sacrifice that goes into each of these projects is truly extraordinary. And it wouldn't be possible without the work of everybody who's here today and many others who are not here. So to everybody who has been involved in making today a reality, I just want to say thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Tomlinson. Dr. Larry McAllister serves as the Programs Director of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, South Atlantic Division. Sir, your remarks.
Thanks, Corey. Well, look at all the happy, smiling faces here. Great day today. Good weather, not pouring down rain. Everybody's here happy because we're having a great consolidation of a long project that's been going on for several years, about 2.5, 3 years. I just want to say that this is a first step, as you've heard before, about the EAA program of projects that's going on in this neck of the woods. This is the northern edge, if you haven't figured that out, of the project. So if you look that way, it goes for several miles and miles and miles of the EAA reservoir. I want to say a couple things, though, that Connor mentioned, is that these projects don't happen by themselves. We have a great team of Corps of Engineers, South Florida Water Management District folks working on it. Juan, where are you at? Juan, stand up. This is the area engineer for this area, this project. He's working on this one and all the other projects. The Corps of Engineers didn't do the construction. People think the Corps of Engineers actually build stuff. We do. We oversee the building of it. We have great contractors that work for us. Phillips was awarded this contract a couple years ago. They've done an outstanding job. So Phillips, please stand up, be recognized. Phillips contractors. And we've got 2 other contractors that are working on the reservoir and the embankment right now, even as we speak. If you were at the other side of the entire reservoir, you'd see that great work going on. It's fantastic. Just a couple of GWIS facts. This inflow-outflow canal and the seepage canal feeds the water that will go into the reservoir. And you've heard talk about sometimes about the reservoir, how big it is. It's huge. It's 10,500 acres when it's complete. It'll hold 240,000 acre-feet of water. Acre-feet is an engineering term. That's about 118,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of water. 218,000, 17 miles around. So 17 million cubic yards, of dirt to make the embankment. Huge reservoir, probably be one of the largest in the nation above ground reservoirs when it's complete. But we don't do that alone either. We've got great contractors working on that. We've got the great team led by Juan and his folks. We've got great partnership with South Florida Water Management District, and it's just it's an amazing accomplishment when you think about it. I want to thank Chauncey for being here and for the governing board folks to be here. It just shows how important this project is to the state. It's a great honor to have you all here as well. And I also want to thank the ASA's office for sending Connor here. Mr. Tell couldn't make it today, but he would have if he could have been here. So thank you very much. Look forward to the ribbon cutting ceremony, and look forward to the great construction that's still going on when that project gets done. Thank you very much.
Mr. Adam Blaylock is the Deputy Secretary of Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and he'll be joining us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here on behalf of the Department of Environmental Protection and to be able to celebrate this milestone, and particularly hearing that it's being completed ahead of schedule, which is a really great thing, and commend the Army Corps for all the work that they're doing to expedite construction of the EAA reservoir and all the work that DEP, Water Management District, and the Corps together are working on to implement the MOU and MOA that Connor referenced, to not only expedite this project, but also Blue Shanty and other aspects of Everglades restoration, so that once all of these are completed by 2029, then we can start really seeing all the benefits that these projects are designed to come together and achieve. So look forward to other groundbreakings and milestones related to this project, and just appreciate the opportunity to be here and to celebrate this event. So thank you very much.
All right, I get to introduce our favorite partner, our largest non-federal sponsor, Mr. Drew Bartley, Executive Director of South Florida Water Management District.
Thank you, Major Bell. It takes all of us to get this done. I mean, what you're hearing from is the leaders of these agencies, and there's no doubt that it takes incredible leadership to make days like this possible. And when Governor DeSantis took office 7 years ago, he told us to get busy, and boy, we did get busy. He went and got the funds working with the legislature at the state of Florida. We worked with the federal government and the Corps of Engineers to step up a lot of efforts, and the funding's been coming. President Trump's budget request has been remarkable to get all of this done, but really it takes that kind of leadership to make that kind of difference. But it also takes the kind of staff that we have at the Corps of Engineers and the South Florida Water Management District to respond to that leadership, right? Because they're giving us a lot more to do, and we're getting it done, and we're not blinking. We're continuing to proceed to get all of these great projects done, and that doesn't happen without these staff and without the contractors that have mobilized to Florida, recognizing that we're supercharging this effort, staffing up, and getting ready to actually build these on an expedited schedule. We're here with the funds, and we need everybody pulling on the same end of the rope to get it done at the same time. So it's an incredible beginning to this incredible reservoir project. After we finished the stormwater treatment area 2 years ago, it is ready to move water, but this is the canal that gets it to the reservoir. Actually, this is not the canal, right? The canal is on the other side of that first berm. And if you see that canal, it's twice as big as this canal, because the South Florida Water Management District is going to start building the pump station to move water into the reservoir, and it is massive. It can move the amount of water that Lake Kissimmee is discharging into the lake right now. So that canal had to be the size of that size to move the water into the reservoir. And then we are, if you come in and you saw the construction next to US 27, that's making the canals that go from the lake here big enough to move that size of water into the reservoir. It doesn't work without a big canal. And so that's done. So we're going to start the pump station. The Corps has already broken ground on the EAA reservoir embankment. So we're going to get this done. And the agreement that was signed in July between the state of Florida and the Department of the Army supercharged that even. 2029, my goodness. I remember when I first came into Everglades restoration, the saying that just out there was, not my lifetime. And then it shifted to in my lifetime. And now it's before I retire. You know, it's just incredible supercharging of this event. So it's going to be an incredible project. I'm really excited to cut the ribbon on this one, and we're going to stay busy, and we're not going to rest until it's completely done. And also, before I get down, the non-government advocacy groups, so many of them, 60 plus advocacy groups that pull for Everglades restoration. It wouldn't be possible without you doing that. You're the ones that create the energy for us to have the momentum that we have today. So thank you for attending, and thank you for everything you do in support of Everglades restoration. Back to you, Major Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Bartlett. Before we move to the formal ribbon cutting and the photo opportunity for this event, we'd like to thank our project team for pulling this ceremony together. Our engineer, Mr. Juan Sanchez Bullet, lead project engineer, Gerardo Torres, who coordinated all the aspects of this event with our contract partner, our senior contract construction representative, John Stormer, to ensure the safety, trackability, and logistics for this event, and of course our entire group, corporate communications team for running this show. USACE may be taking the credit for the completion of this course, but without our partnership with our prime contractor, we will not be able to complete these monumental construction projects. Please join me in a round of applause for our prime contractor, Phillips, for the successful completion of the complex project. Our schedule is the senior project manager, Tom Weston, senior vice president, Matt Gregory, and Mr. Matt Exton. A special thanks to Phillips for providing the support and refreshments following today's events. And a final thank you to their subcontractors, Florida Energy Services, WSP, Florida Land and Turf, and Environment. At this point, I'll transition to Ms. Parker, and we'll begin the formal portion of the ribbon cutting. Thank you.